I was just thinking about how people always say that salmon always return to the river that they were spawned in, and sea turtles always return to the beach that they hatched on. That's bullshit, right? That's not true. If that were true, there'd be all the sea turtles would be on one beach. All the salmon would be in one stream, right? No, there's variation. There's obviously variation. Some, you could even get by with most sea turtles return to the same beach that they were hatched on. Most salmon return to the stream that they were spawned in. That's enough to get you those others that don't do that, go to other streams. And that's how you get salmon in all the streams around like the northern Pacific or whatever, and all the beaches in the tropical areas and subtropics have turtles. There's a turtle in the water there. So yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know why we have to simplify things so much. It's kind of beautiful that it's not that simple, right? Like, we always try to put these simple rules on nature, and nature hates simple rules. Let's botanize this hole. Yeah, so we got this hole made by, obviously, a big tree was right here, and it was attached to that big root. And now it is no longer attached to that root because the floods a few years ago ripped it away from its root system and carried it God knows where. But let's see what's sort of colonizing this hole now. It's actually pretty massive hole. So let's see what we got in here. Stuff's starting to move in. I see pokeweed right there. Get a closer look at some of this stuff. We're gonna fall in the hole, guys. It's inevitable. Yeah, we got a pokeweed down here. This is a very eye-catching plant, as demonstrated by the fact that there's a whole subreddit called It's Always Pokeweed, because everybody's asking, wow, what is this? And it's always pokeweed. We got burnweed right here. It's a pretty robust annual that colonizes any disturbed space, and this is definitely a disturbed space. We got seed box, my old friend seed box, Ludwigia alternifolia. It's really cool to see that coming in here. We got something in the Vernonioideae group of asters. Might be some sort of elephant foot. Yeah, something like that. We got some wing stem popping up in here, which is, you can see why it's called wing stem. Has little wings, frilly wings on the stems, running longitudinally on them. Got a bunch of that around here. A bunch of it on the edge too. So what you see, this big guy right here with the yellow blossoms up top, and pretty much all the tall stuff around here is that. What else we got in the hole? We got mullein, of course. Hippies love that. Not just for wiping their butts either, but apparently a lot of people think that there's a lot of medicinal properties, and I'm not going to weigh in on all that, but I get a little frustrated by that because medicinal or not, this stuff takes over, and people plant it intentionally for its medicinal properties. We got something in the Hypericum genus here, some kind of St. John's wort. Don't know what that is. Some kind of bunch grass. We got a dicanthelium. There's a bunch of it over here too. I saw, yeah, get it, a bunch of it, because it's a bunch grass. But yeah, this big cluster just out of the hole right here. Cool looking grass. I love the dicantheliums. They're very easy to identify. There's not much from other places in the world that looks quite like them. Okay, of course, we got a tree of heaven popping up right here. Pretty gross. Tree of heaven, people mistake it for walnuts. Actually, let's do a quick side-by-side of tree of heaven and black walnut over there. So I'm going to take the tree of heaven, damage it, rather than the walnut, and I'll take this to the walnut for the side-by-side. Oh, where was it? I just saw it over. Here's one. So this looks like black walnut to me. And yes, this is a very young one. But yes, so this has compound leaves, like the tree of heaven. If I can get it to focus, there we go. But look at the texture of those leaves, and look at the shape, or the leaflets, and look at the shape of the leaflets. They don't have that little notch down at the bottom, like tree of heaven does, see? These are a little gland at the base of the tree of heaven leaflet, sorry. Also, tree of heaven tends to have many leaflets. Now, black walnut can as well. I think it can have up to like 20 leaflets, but look at the texture of them. The tree of heaven is quite smooth. The walnut is a little bit rough, sort of corrugated along its veins and stuff. Also, the edges of these leaflets, they've got a little bit of dentation. They got a little bit of serration. They're not smooth. The tree of heaven leaf is smooth. So that's some of the major ways that you can tell these things apart. Also, like I said, the tree of heaven smells. It smells like skunk. It smells like burning rubber and peanut butter, a little bit of gasoline. So anyway, trash tree, awesome tree. And superficially, they look alike because they both have compound leaves. But when you get a little closer, the smell is completely different. I don't want to hurt this, but if I were to crush these leaves, they'd smell resinous and citrusy. Not like you poured gasoline on peanut butter and lit it. And the texture is just different. So they're fairly easy to tell apart once you get those two things side by side and really compare them like we just did. I hope that helps people to stop hurting walnuts, thinking that they're tree of heaven. What else we got? There's another pokeweed there. Got sweet gums and tulip poplars coming up all around. We got an invasive Japanese honeysuckle there. Yeah, we're on the rim of the hole now. Might go back into it. What are you? Oh, I don't know what you are exactly, but you look lobelia-ish. That's a lobelia flower if I ever saw one. And that is definitely a lobelia calyx. Never seen one that has these almost, the leaves are almost shaped like a mint leaf, and it has like they're crinkled around the edge. I'll have to figure out what you are in a second. That's a cool little plant, cool little lobelia. Didn't think I'd see that. Here's horseweed, very common little annual weed. Smartweed, also common weed. We got inland oats over there, the things that look like oats with the oats hanging out. Yeah, broadleaf plantain there. More of this little lobelia there. About to fall back in the hole. Got to pay attention. That's what happens when you're not paying attention and you're into the hole, out of the hole, into the hole, out of the hole. We got some kind of bulrush here. Perfectly round leaves. Almost looks like an onion, but they're very stiff. And if you break them, they're scentless. This is not an onion. And has sort of a corm under the ground. I think supposedly you can eat the corm, but I don't know. I've never tried it. But anyway, there's another one right there. That's another bulrush right at the bottom of the seed box, Ludwigia alternifolia. It's like super hot out here. It's hard to get my brain to work. There's another bigger tree of heaven right there. A poorly named plant. What do we have over here? I know what you look like. Oh, I don't know what you look like. Oh, I may know what you look like. Some kind of bunch grass. I thought at first this was yellow star grass, and that would have been cool, but I don't think that's what it is. Might be gamma grass. I don't know. Cool stuff. That looks like a spice bush there. That's hard to get to. That's really hard to get to. We might have to pass on that one. What are you? Right here at the base of the mullein. Almost looks like a little hawthorn seedling or something. Maybe. Whatever. There's other spice bushes. I'm not crawling up there. I'm down in the hole right now. Once you're in the hole, there's no getting out. At least not for a while, not for just a spice bush. And I love spice bushes, but I'm not climbing up that super steep, rough thing. Anyway, well, might do so. Oh, what else we got over here? We got something else over here. Kind of interesting. We got a parasite. Look at that. Dodder. The stuff that looks like orange silly string here. That is actually a member of the, it's parasitic. It's a member of the morning glory family, Convolvulaceae. And when it wraps around plants, let's see if I can get a good close-up of that. Focus. All right, do you see those little root-looking or little bumpy-looking things that are facing the plant? Right there. Yeah, that little crook. You see that little bump sticking out and how there's other little bumps that are touching the plant? They're rooting into the plant. This plant actually roots into its host plant and steals nutrients from it. And it can really choke stuff out. It's kind of interesting. It does some cool stuff, I guess, environmentally and genetically. I'm pretty sure it also steals genetics from its host plants a little bit. So I think its genome is just an absolute mess, because it is not really very specific about what it parasitizes. Here it's parasitizing some wing stem, but I've seen it on just dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of species. Also, it can apparently sort of transmit signals from one plant to another. Like, so if this is covering a large area, which this is a very small infestation of dodder right here. Most of the time when I've seen it, it's just covering just vast swaths. But apparently it can transmit stress signals of the plant. So if it's covering a big area and a deer starts to munch on the plants over here, those plants always, regardless of dodder, will, you know, it does hormonal things to the plants, and they start to send out signals, just chemical signals. And it a lot of times will attract, like, you know, just insects that will defend it, sort of like ants and stuff like that. There's various things, or it'll just smell weird and try to drive the deer off, or the predator or the deer herbivore that way. There's lots of different things plants do chemically in response to herbivory, and dodder can transmit that signal. So it's almost like the plants along the infestation will be connected by telephone wires. So if something starts eating it over here, whatever response that plant over here would have, if the dodder is connected to another plant of the same species way over there, that plant will also start doing whatever chemical response to the herbivory happens. Pretty interesting. Very, very weird. Very alien looking plant. You can see it's doing absolutely no photosynthesis of its own. There are no real leaves. There's nothing really green on there. It's all achlorotic and achlorophilous. I don't know. Brain's not working right now. It doesn't have chlorophyll, so it's not doing any photosynthesis. It's just parasitizing. Crazy. Check out this moody little weirdo right here with the purple flowers, purple and green. It's a milkweed. It's growing up looks like a wing stem there, but it's actually these sort of elongated heart-shaped leaves here, not these strappy Asteraceae leaves. But yeah, it's in the milkweed family. It's kind of a climbing milkweed. It's called anglepod. And those are the flowers. And they just look so gothy. And eventually this will have these big fruits, big seed pods hanging from them. And they're filled with, you know, little airborne seeds. And it just looks so moody, so gothy. All right, so here's a weird opportunity. See this beaver damage on this tree right here, and it's leaking. And that is a sweet gum tree. So that's sweet gum. I mean, people did chew this, apparently, dry it out and sort of chew it. And I've tasted it a couple times. I tasted it right before I started filming this. So I'm gonna do it again and tell you guys what I think about it. So this is a stick that I used to scrape up a little blob of it. There you go. Old blob of gum. And supposedly you could chew it if it's like dried out and like gummy enough, but this is basically just sap. It's just thick, sugary sap. Not even all that sugary. Like I said, it's not gummy. It's still very liquidy. It's very sticky. It is. I'm gonna regret getting that on my lips. It's quite aromatic. It is instantly coated the inside of my mouth. It's aromatic in a very pleasant way. Kind of Christmassy, kind of piney, but not really pine. It is a very resinous, aromatic smell because that's essentially tree resin I just put in my mouth. My tongue keeps sticking to the roof of my mouth, which are both coated in that sap now. Very aromatic, a little bit astringent, a little bit mouth drying, but not too bad. Feels like it probably smells and tastes like it probably has some antifungal, antibacterial properties, which it almost certainly does, because I mean, the tree is leaking that into a wound to try to prevent itself from getting disease. That's the whole point. The little bit that got on my lips is very annoying. Yeah, I mean, it's an experience. It's not going to hurt you. It's not really worth it because it just gums up your whole mouth. It is aromatic through the nose now, though, too. It's sort of infiltrating my whole upper respiratory system, once again, in a mildly pleasant way, but not pleasant enough. I'm not really itching to do that every time I see sweet gum sap, but thought I'd do it for you guys to let you know. And now I've done it. Yeah. Kids these days are down there tagging the Polonia.